vision through a jail cell. Like, that's basically what he was saying, you know? So he's like, yeah, I love Jen too. We'd love to continue with her. However, in a few months, she's going away to jail for probably 6 years. Like, you know, again, I have no idea what fans are thinking, but he did, I think he said, I can't remember the exact wording, but he basically insinuated that, yeah, there could be a special coming and he wants to sit down with her. I think there is going to be a special like what we saw with Teresa. I think she and Coach are going to sit down and discuss it after probably the sentencing happens. They'll record it.
Look, Jen has the $9 million in restitution, and who knows like where that's going to go. But look, I think that Teresa and Joe were paid a bunch for that. And I think Jen Shah will have other options, and I think Bravo will pay. Why would you ever sit down now? You're going to have to hear the sentencing. We need to process that after she has 20 years, 5 years through. When we know that, yes, I agree with you. I think there will be a special. Andy will sit down with her. And I don't know why he's being so big about the reunion. Like, why wouldn't she be at the reunion? I mean, she's part of this season. We have a lot to wrap up and wish her well. And I mean, I don't really know.
I think they're in a tough spot, don't you think? I mean,
yeah,
you know, Teresa was a victim of naivety, I guess you could say. Erica's never been charged with anything. I mean, now you got somebody that's admitted to pleading guilty. I don't know. I mean,
different, yeah.
I think it's a little different to parade her out. I don't know. I'm sure they're thinking about the optics. Don't you think?
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. And I do think it's different. And I think that we just have to see. But I do think there's going to be a special, and I think she'll get paid. And I think that she needs the money. So I think it all makes a lot of sense. Speaking of, I mean, look, I agree. I think something needs to happen with the Salt Lake, though, to make it a better show. But I mean, I know you're loving it. Let's talk about the OC for a minute.
Yes, tell me.
You know, we're back at, you know, Lisa saying she'll welcome Heather. Heather sells the house, $55 million. They spend $14 million to move to the Century. Whenever that happens, they'll be in Kenny Spelling's building. You know, the rumor is that Heather had a rough season and everyone came for Heather. That doesn't shock me.
That doesn't shock me either. Do you think, you know, I hear it from Vicky. It's interesting. And Gina, they all seem to have empathy for Heather. So you've always been team Heather. Heather's another one. I don't know. She's probably somebody I would like love in real life. And I'd sit down and have a cocktail, and Terry seems great. And I'd probably be like, oh my God, I like love them. I don't think she comes off particularly likable on TV. This last season, I don't think she did. She comes
Why
off
do you think she just comes as a rich snob?
No, she comes off to me as like she feels like she's in charge of production. Like the whole, like, I can't stand at this point now when they're like, stop filming. I'm stopping. I'm not filming anymore. I'm not filming anymore now. I'm done. I'm done. I don't know. To me, she's like a little like she's always orchestrating, or she thinks she's always orchestrating production. It's like, Heather, it's not the Heather Dubrow show. Like it's, I don't know. I kind of, that she rubs me the wrong way that way, but maybe that's just the cut that they make for her. And she's great in real life.
I agree. I mean, in the sense that like, if I was one of you, just can't. And I think Teresa, that's go back to her, does this. And Rinna, I guess too, like they don't care. I mean, that's how I would be. Like you film it. It is what it is at this point. You can't control what's out there about you. You can't control the edit. It is what it is. It's like when I guest on other podcasts, way back when I guested on your podcast. I guess, you know, a lot of times they're like, here, and here's the outline, here are the questions. I'm like, I don't need this. I don't want this. You can ask me as Kim D says on Patreon every week, the truth always sets you free. Ask me any question. I'm a lawyer. If I don't want to answer your question, I will politely pass. Short of that, and I can't even think of what question it would be. Just answer. Like, I don't, so you can't control, there's no surprise tactic. You're in the public eye. It is what it is. So yeah, I believe Heather's, you know, from what I've heard too. Yeah, I think she probably tries to control the narrative, but look, you're never going to. It's all going to come out. I mean, look at last season. We started with the rumors and all this crap about Terry being sued. I think, look at what she had this season about Terry cheating on her. So I think, I mean, if she's trying to control things from coming out, I mean, I'm not saying any of these things are true. I mean, although the lawsuit was and we moved past it, you know, I don't believe Terry cheated on Heather, but like, it just is what it is. Like, just let it out and we'll all move on and forget about it. Yeah. As a person, to me, she has been nothing but wonderful multiple times. So I am basing my experience with her on that, and I will not change. She has been wonderful to me, and Tamra hasn't exactly been 100% wonderful. So I'm going to stick to what I know as these two people are human beings. Look, I think, you know, I mean, Terry's really successful, but you're still part of that. You're still around someone like success other than if you're doing it illegally, like we just talked about, Jen Shaw and the Chrisleys, like smart, you know, you need to be smart to build a business if you're doing it ethically. So I think Heather's like a smart businesswoman in my experience. Like, she's not a crazy unhinged lunatic. That's my experience with her.
And what do you think any of these ongoing rumors are true that Heather and Terry are coming to Beverly Hills?
As Catherine Edwards said on my show last week, I sure as fuck hope so.
Really? That'd be
I am
really. You want her on Beverly Hills?
I don't exactly see it at this juncture, but the show is on pause and we're switching the show. And a pause, we know, does not mean the show comes back with Diana Jenkins being gone, period. Put a bow on it. No pun intended to Heather and her cake with the bow that was ripped off. I just think when there is a pause, we change things up. Listen, she has the money. She has more money than people that actually are on the damn show. I could see it. I think Taylor Armstrong going to the OC has changed things. Heather, to me, does feel more Beverly Hills. Let's face it, there is more cachet in Beverly Hills. It's a much better show. People are way more water cooler about talking about it. I think we would see a different Heather. I could see her holding her own there. I don't really feel it per se, but I mean, yeah, I do think she's a little above the OC. There, I said it. So maybe I'm a snob.
Oh, no? I wish I could bring it up. This is just such speculation. I wish I could bring it up. Yeah, no, I'd seen somewhere where someone said this is the new cast of Beverly Hills. And again, they could be pulling this like out of, I don't know, the woodwork or whatever. But basically it was like Denise, Brandy, Garcelle, Sutton, Kyle, and Heather, I think, were like the people.
Yeah, they're reaching. They're
reaching. Yeah.
Yeah, they're hands up Andy's ass and they're failing around. And they're definitely reaching, because we're not even close to those decisions. And look, could that be the cast? No, I don't see Erica there. So that's not the cast. No. The answer is no. I'm sorry. And the timing is off. There's also a lot of rumors that, you know, Heather and Terry were fighting over the weekend. Did you see that? That they said
and then
your
they
table's
did that
not
video.
Yeah.
I know. That was so lame. No, they weren't fighting.
And guess what? Two things get to be true. I have a